year 2022-45, humanity had achieved feats that once seemed impossible. Technology had advanced so much that the borders between science fiction and reality had all but vanished. Among the greatest accomplishments of this age was the creation of the chronogate, a machine capable of manipulating the very fabric of time. However, despite its remarkable potential, the chronogate remained dormant for many years, with its purpose and risks yet to be fully understood. Dr. Olivia Winters, a renowned physicist and historian, was among the first to dream of unraveling the true potential of time travel. She believed that if used responsibly, the chronogate could unlock the mysteries of history, allowing humanity to witness lost moments from the past and explore alternate timelines. Yet her ambitions went beyond mere observation. She sought to change the course of history itself. After years of research, Olivia finally managed to unlock the final component needed to activate the chronogate safely. She called her closest colleagues into the underground facility where the machine was housed. The room was dimly lit, and the hum of machines filled the air as the group stood before the imposing structure of the chronogate. With a flick of a switch, the room was bathed in a brilliant light, and the machine began to hum to life. "Are you ready?" Olivia asked, her voice filled with both excitement and trepidation. The team nodded, knowing that they were about to embark on an unprecedented journey into the past. The first destination was ancient Egypt. As the chronogate powered up, Olivia and her team were engulfed by a blinding light, and the world around them seemed to ripple and distort. When the light faded, they found themselves standing on the banks of the Nile River, the great pyramids looming in the distance. The team marveled at the sight, their minds racing with possibilities. This was history in the making, a moment that had been lost to time, now made tangible. But as Olivia and her colleagues ventured deeper into the ancient city of Memphis, they soon realized that something was amiss. The timeline had already been altered. A mysterious figure in ancient garb approached them, his eyes filled with suspicion. "Who are you?" he asked. Olivia realized that they had not just observed history, they had interacted with it. The timeline was shifting, and they had to act fast to prevent any permanent damage. Panicked, Olivia activated the chronogate once more, hoping to return to their original time. But as the machine hummed to life, something went wrong. The fabric of time began to tear, and Olivia and her team were hurled forward, into the future. They landed in a world unlike anything they could have imagined. Towering cities stretched beyond the horizon, and the sky was filled with flying machines. Humans, now living alongside artificial beings, looked at them curiously. "What is this?" Olivia whispered, overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of the technological advances. It was clear now that their actions in the past had had consequences. The world they had just entered was a fractured version of the future. The timeline had splintered, and now there were multiple versions of reality existing simultaneously. As Olivia and her team tried to understand the scope of their mistakes, they realized that the chronogate was not just a device for time travel, it was a weapon. The more it was used, the more unstable the fabric of time became. Each action they took, each step they made in the past, caused ripples that threatened to unravel the entire timeline. Faced with the possibility of the destruction of all reality, Olivia made a difficult decision. She had to find a way to restore the timeline, to undo the damage they had caused. But there was one crucial question. How could they fix something so broken? Was it even possible to put time back together? Olivia's team set out on a mission to find the source of the fractures in the timeline. They traveled across multiple realities, encountering versions of the world they knew, each one slightly different from the last. In one timeline, a great war had ravaged humanity. In another, a global utopia had flourished. But no matter where they went, they could not escape the consequences of their meddling. Through each iteration of the future, Olivia's resolve grew stronger. She realized that time was not just a linear construct, it was a delicate web of interconnected moments, each one dependent on the others. To restore the timeline, they would have to make a sacrifice. They would have to let go of their own desires and accept that some things were meant to remain unchanged. After what felt like an eternity of searching, Olivia and her team found the one moment in history that needed to be preserved, the pivotal event that, if altered, would have caused the greatest disruption. With a heavy heart, Olivia activated the chronogate one last time, knowing that this was the only way to fix what had been broken. As the machine powered down and the team returned to their original time, Olivia was left with a profound sense of loss. The future they had seen, the possibilities they had glimpsed, were now out of reach. But she knew that in the end, the timeline had been restored. The chronogate was sealed, never to be used again. Olivia and her team had learned a harsh truth. Time was not theirs to control. It was a force beyond their understanding, and to tamper with it was to risk everything. The world, they realized, was fragile, and every action they took had consequences, both in the past and in the future. As Olivia gazed out at the world they had saved, she couldn't help but wonder, what if they had never used the chronogate? Would history have played out the same way, or would the threads of time have woven a different pattern altogether?